thought I'd do a nice relaxing video showing this painting I did for my mother for Christmas of various backyard animals here in Canada. The first animal is a barn owl. I think some art tips mixed with animal facts would be enjoyable. I'm roughing in the sketch. Before doing this good painting, I did a rough copy which was using photo manipulation and reference to get everything in place, roughly. I used a separate app, VisRef, to look at that reference on the side while I painted the good one by completely sketching everything in. The red squirrel, rose-breasted grosbeak, evening grosbeak, and blue jay. Later I do correct those distracting leaves behind the blue jay's head, so don't worry. For now, let's enjoy some relaxing animal facts, beginning with the barn owl. Scientific name Tyto alba. The most widely distributed owl in the whole world, and in fact, one of the most widely distributed of all birds, found on every continent except Antarctica. With a height of 25 to 45 centimeters, which is 10 to 18 inches, and a wingspan of 80 to 95 centimeters, which is 31 to 37 inches, some areas have larger or smaller individuals. Nocturnal over most of its range, but a little more diurnal in Great Britain and some Pacific islands. They hunt during the day only when it was very wet on the previous night. Some scientists classify the barn owl into eastern and western species, and some further split it into more subspecies than that, while others consider it one species globally. Their breeding and mating habits vary by region and the current conditions, such as the quantity or scarcity of their prey. They mate monogamously for life, finding a new partner only if their current partner is killed. Their diet is 90% or more small mammals, usually located by sound. They have extremely acute asymmetrical ears that can pinpoint the locations of objects and especially prey. In drier and warmer areas that may be a little more rainy, they tend to have more varied diet based on local abundance, such as birds being more common in their diets on tropical islands. They are known in some regions to eat lots of termites or even frogs, etc. This does depend on local abundance. As other owls, they have silent flight due to specially adapted feathers and exceptional night vision. They can maneuver extremely well as well, and are particularly good at turning abruptly even in midair. There are a lot of other individual and regional variances, and there's actually a lot of differences in terms of exact colorations, with barn owls not always looking identical to each other, especially globally. Now for a few art tips. I recommend using the fewest layers reasonable, particularly with Procreate and its layer limitations. This file was 600 dpi and quite large, made for printer size, so I could print this picture for my mother and put it in a frame for Christmas. I also recommend working on CMYK if you're working on something for print, and using RGB when you're using it for internet display and not really intending to print it out. I had each bird and its branch on its own layer, as well as a background layer behind everything. I tried to reduce the layers as there was a layer limit maximum of only 11 due to the file size of this project. I advise you keep these elements separate so that you don't have to erase or paint over things if you decide to move elements around in complex pictures like this. And now, back to some bird facts. A loud and raucous passerine bird in the family Corvidae, the blue jay, native to eastern North America, common in eastern and central USA and Canada, breeding and living in both deciduous and coniferous forests, common in residential areas. The diet of blue jays is primarily seeds and nuts. However, they are known to eat other things as well, including fruit and arthropods like bugs, and even vertebrates such as the chicks of other birds. They are loud and gregarious, but they sometimes are known to be aggressive and violent. Sometimes they've even been known to kill and behead other birds for apparently no reason, but other times they are very friendly and playful. Young blue jays have been observed playing with things that they treat as toys, such as bottle caps, aluminum foil, or other shiny things. They have been known to impersonate the cries of hawks, perhaps to test if a hawk is nearby before leaving cover, but most likely due to observation, to scare off competing birds and get to the food source for themselves. They are intelligent. A raised crest indicates agitation or anger, and a lowered crest is known to indicate calmness. With an average lifespan in the wild of 7 years, the longest observed in the wild was 17 years. One captive female lived to an old age of 26 years. For some art advice, I advise checking out and practicing the different brushes in Procreate and using them to your advantage. Softer brushes are great for feather effects, but sometimes you want harder lines for different effects. I also recommend downloading free brushes on the Procreate forums, folio.procreate.com, such as grain brushes, which I use to help do the spots later on the barn owl. It's good to primarily use more similar brushes through the overall composition of the painting, so one area doesn't look starkly different than the others. But I don't think there's a problem with using lots of brushes, nor is there a problem with using only one. It depends on the style of your art piece and what you're in the mood to do. Despite the way I've been phrasing it, clearly not everything in this painting is a bird. Here's a mammal, the rodent in the picture, the American red squirrel. One of 3 species of tree squirrels in the genus Timelapse, if that's correct pronunciation, are known by other names too, such as pine squirrel, North American red squirrel, the chicory, and the Hudson's Bay squirrel. Lots of names for the same little red squirrel. With a small size of 200 to 250 grams, 7.1 to 8.8 ounces, they are primarily diurnal, or up during the day, year-round, exclusive territories that they patrol aggressively. They tend to prefer territories where there are many coniferous trees, as that's primarily their diet in the wild. They feed primarily on white spruce seeds specifically, but they can eat other seeds, and they can eat a variety of things such as spruce buds, mushrooms, leaves, willow, needles from spruce trees, poplar buds, and even have been known to eat, sometimes, animal food, including bird eggs, young birds, and the babies of snowshoe hares. They also have been known to eat certain flowers and berries. They are considered an opportunistic omnivore, not a pure vegetarian. With a promiscuous mating strategy, the females wander out of their set territories during their estrus, and the day of, which is only one day, they are chased by various competing males. They mate with an average of 4 to 16 males, and have 1 to 5 offspring later. They often only mate once a year, but in some situations, when the food is plentiful and the weather's just right, they are known to have a second litter in the same year. The adult size is reached in 125 days, but they nurse all the way to 70 days. Some females have been known to delay their first mating past their first year of life and to wait till they're 2 years old or older, but many females are able to mate and reproduce after their first year. They have a severe early mortality rate, with an average of only 22% surviving their first year, although a much higher percentage survive if they have survived their first year. The wild average lifespan is 5 years, if they survive the first year, with 10 years being the longest observed in the wild. That's all the time I have in this video, so I hope you do your own research about rose-breasted grosbeak and evening grosbeak. Once again, that's all for this video. If you like my videos, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to all notifications so you will know when a new video comes up. I aim for new videos every Wednesday, but sometimes life happens and things are delayed. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you with another one very soon.